Russell Wilson, the day Sean Payton disrespected you publicly, that should have been the moment you walked away to preserve your career.
Russell Wilson messed up his Hall of Fame career, guys. He will not go to the Hall of Fame. I think people will remember him from his last stints with Giants, Pittsburgh, and Broncos and failing there, and also the missed throw in the Super Bowl more than his overall accomplishments. It's crazy to say that and very unfair, but life is unfair and the football gods are not fair at all. But let's be honest here. I think the ultimate weakness of Russell Wilson was his arrogance. He should have just stayed in Seattle. He had a great situation, great defense, great running game, and a solid head coach, even though he did a bonehead call in the Super Bowl. Other than that, I felt like he should have just stayed in Seattle. I don't know why he wanted to leave, but he wanted to leave. He went to Denver, big blunder. Then he went to Pittsburgh, flat out sucked, and now he's getting benched for a rookie. Russell Wilson is no longer a Hall of Famer, which is kind of crazy to think about, but I don't think he's going in because of what happened.
Yo, somebody in the Giants front office is trying to sabotage up the middle on second down. The fans were stunned. Look at my man's face. He's like, what's going on? That's what I was looking at. Then by arrest.
By the Giants. Not surprised by this move at all. You knew Russ was pretty much cooked the moment Sean Payton disrespected him 2 seasons ago on the sideline. For me, that was the beginning of the end. I knew it was a wrap when they cut him and they ate all that dead money. I knew it was a wrap when he went to the Steelers and only played for $1 million. Yeah, I know the Steelers, I know the Broncos were paying him 30, but the Steelers only paid him $1 million. And once you basically show teams that you are a depreciating asset, it's over. So the moment Russell Wilson allowed himself to be disrespected by Sean Payton, the moment he was cut and he accepted a role with the Steelers and only was paid $1 million by the Steelers, and the moment he went to the Giants as a projected starter and only asked for $10 million this year, a 1-year deal. When you're going year to year, 1-year deals, and you're taking less money every single time, it's just a matter of time before you're done. So Russell Wilson, he'll never be a full-time starter again. Mark my words. If he wants to stay in the league, he needs to accept backup roles.
Legacy? I don't know if y'all remember, but Russ was once considered the top 2 quarterback in the NFL. But Russell Wilson really revolutionized how we even look at the position. Think about it. Before Russ, if you were under 6 feet, you ain't starting. And if you're a running quarterback, you're a gimmick. Russell's both. Now, in 2025, if you can't run, you're not starting.
Watch this clip from last night, and I'll be right back.
You told us that you have asked Russell Wilson multiple times for his jersey, to do a jersey swap, and you've never gotten one.
Never gotten it.
Did you ask him again tonight?
I don't even want it. It's all good. I don't want it. Hey, over time you kind of understand that now I don't even want it. It's love and war.
The rise and fall of Russell Wilson needs its own documentary. Never have I seen someone go from Super Bowl champ and hero to the laughingstock of the league. For Chris Jones to blow him up like that on live TV says so much about what players think of Russell Wilson. He did it to himself. Again, call me a bitter Bronco fan, but when he got to Denver and asked for his own office and parking spot and brought his own people and wouldn't give his number out to his teammates and you have to go through his people. I mean, talk about just an image. All the way to those cheesy commercials and calling himself dangerous. And man, this guy, and all he does on the field is throw interceptions and get sacked. He just looks lost out there, and I don't feel sorry for him because he did it to himself.
Richard Sherman leaves the Seahawks and is still a Pro Bowler All-Pro in San Fran. Bobby Wagner leaves the Seahawks and is still an All-Pro just last year in Washington. Earl Thomas leaves the Seahawks, and I think he had a good year in Baltimore, if I'm not mistaken, before retiring. Russell Wilson leaves the Seahawks and is 17-27 as a starter. It's not the hall of really good for a long time. It's not the hall of playing with really good teammates. It's not the hall of playing with Hall of Fame teammates. It's the Hall of Fame. And if Richard Sherman, Russell Wilson's own teammate, is coming out here and cutting his legs up from under him, if Marshawn Lynch and Doug Baldwin have both gone on their own podcasts and cut Russell Wilson's legs out from under him. If Mike Tomlin said Russ wasn't good enough, if Sean Payton said Russ wasn't good enough, if Pete Carroll said, Russ, I don't want you back, and if Brian Daboll, the coach of the year, said Russ wasn't good enough, Hall of Fame voters are human. Humans have ears. Richard Sherman leaves the Seahawks and is still a Pro Bowl.
3 losses, the fans booed, and the chants were loud, "We want Dart." That was the final straw.
Decision right now for the Giants to go to Dart.
It definitely is the right decision. Russ against Washington did look washed. My defense turned Russell Wilson back into vintage Patrick Mahomes. He throws for 450 and 3 bomb touchdowns against my sorry-ass defense. It wasn't about Russ cooking. It was about my defense breaking down and getting burned like bad toast on Sunday Night Football against Kansas City, a game that I thought New York had a chance in. Russ was just pathetic. The game ends pathetically with a 4th and goal from the 10, and Russ throws it in like the 12th row. And I think that's when Brian Daboll said, okay, I've seen enough. That well could be Russell Wilson's last start in the National Football League. This isn't about how great I think Jackson Dart can be. It's about what Russ no longer is. Jackson Dart, he's got some swagger. He's going to give them new life and new fire. He's got some electricity to him. I just think they need a fresh vibe for their fans, because Russ is just hard to watch unless he could play the Dallas Cowboys every Sunday, and fortunately, he can't.
Should not call the Giants. The Seattle Seahawks had a great run with Russell Wilson. It then soured at the end. They moved on. The Denver Broncos trade for him. Year 1 with Nat Hackett. Everyone blames Nat. Nat gets fired. Sean Payton saw 11 games of Russell Wilson and said, I will pay you to go away. Mike Tomlin brings in Russell Wilson. He can't start at the beginning of the year because of the injuries. Mike Tomlin sees 8 games of Russell Wilson, says, I'd rather bring back Justin Fields, and I don't want to bring you back, and I'll bring in Aaron Rodgers. Brian Daboll signs Russell Wilson, sees 3 games of Russell Wilson, one of which was phenomenal, and is like, I'm done with you too. At some point, we have to come to the realization he is not better than your backup. He's not a starting quarterback in this league. So my answer is absolutely unequivocally none. And if I were a team that was desperate, like, oh man, I have to get an upgrade at quarterback midway through the season, and I called the Giants, I would ask about Jameis.
No question.
Before I asked about Russ. He was a great player, but it's over. Over. Whomever that team is, they still should not call it one.
Lamar Jackson. I'll take it back. Lamar, Russell Wilson.
Either Russell or Lamar. I would say the top player is Russell Wilson.
Between those two, I think.
Lamar Jackson. Russell Wilson.
Lamar Jackson.
Russell Wilson.
Lamar Jackson.
Both of them have valid arguments. Lamar is having them viral plays, but Russell is winning them big games.
Top player in the league, Russell Wilson. And I don't think it's close.
Because what we're seeing now with the Giants isn't just bad football, it's the NFL putting the final stamp on a career that deserved more respect. And the fans, they made their voices clear, erupted with chants of, "We want Dart," as Wilson struggled. Every incomplete pass, every interception, the boos rained down. That sound wasn't just frustration, it was the crowd telling management the Wilson era in New York was over before it even started. I don't care for Jackson Dart. This isn't about being a fan of the rookie. This is about how the league and the teams inside it have treated a Super Bowl champion like he's disposable. Denver made him the scapegoat. New York dangled him as a bridge and tossed him aside after 3 games. And the NFL media circus, they've been waiting years to bury him. Wilson isn't the same player, and that's obvious, but he's also been hung out to dry. At 36 years old, he's taken more hits than almost anyone in the league, playing behind weak lines, carrying rosters that were never built to win. And now the story is that he's washed, that he's finished. The truth is, he's been disrespected from the top down. Yes, the Dart era begins and fans will get what they've been calling for. But what matters here is the way Russell Wilson's career is ending, not with dignity, not on his own terms, but as a headline of failure. The NFL chewed up a Hall of Fame caliber player and spit him out, and instead of retiring when he still had control, Wilson is now being forced into an ending that feels more like humiliation than closure. Thanks for stopping by.